The Media Brothers 2.0, episode number 68, launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Media Brothers 2.0, episode number 68. This is Aaron.
This is Andrew, number 68, man. Late 60s.
What's up, bro?
1960s, man. that would be a crazy time to go back to, the late 1960s.
Bro,
Could you
hippie,
imagine?
I'd be a hippie for sure.
I think everybody was, weren't they? Like, pretty much. What's up, man? How's it going, man? It's been a while. We're back. We're back, everybody.
I think all the hippies we are back. I think all the hippies were like the younger kid generation. Like if I'm 45 and 68, I'm 45 years old right now. If I'm 45 years old in 1968, I don't think I'm a hippie. I'm talking, why is my daughter a hippie? You know, that's what I'm thinking at that point.
You're like the old man shaking his fist, like, you damn hippies.
I think Generation Z is like the hippies of now time.
You think so?
Yeah, but they're lazy.
They are pretty lazy. They don't want to work.
I'm joking. They're not lazy. They're not lazy. They like to go to school though, but they don't.
I'm saying you're lazy, Gen Zers.
Well, they don't.
Not all of them, obviously.
Well,
I mean,
what they don't understand is you have to work to keep the society moving forward, and most of them don't want to work. That's what it seems like.
That is very true.
But it's just an opinion of mine.
They don't think they should have to work. You got to rephrase that. It's not that they don't want to. They don't see the point in it. That's the mentality of the Gen Zers. They're like, why do we have to do this?
Yeah.
And the thing
we have to make money to live.
And the way we were brought up, even me and Aaron. I mean, he was in Gen X, and I was but considered I was like the start of millennial, really. Yeah. But we both were still taught the same thing. By the way,
Gen X is the Gen X best generation.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm at the very end of it.
Yeah, I consider you a Gen Xer too. Yeah. You're like if you fall in the category of Gen.
Zennial. It's both.
Yeah,
it's both.
Whatever. But you're so close to us, bro. I mean,
it's a 1 year thing, kind of. You know what I'm saying?
But you didn't see it. You didn't really see it like I did before technology was here. That's the difference between me and you. We're 7 years apart. But when I was a kid, there was no technology. When you were a kid, I mean, I have a picture of you sitting on my lap. Probably you were. How old do you think you were? 1.
Oh man, at least. I mean, not even, man. At least
we got to post that on.
Yeah,
post that on the
one or smaller. That's what I would say. I'm in diapers, so.
He's 1 year old, so that means I'm 8, okay? And I am playing Congo Bongo on the Commodore 64, and he's sitting in my lap in diapers.
Was it a Commodore? I thought it was like a TI. I thought that was one of those other computers.
That was the Commodore. That was the Commodore, 1,000% for sure.
Okay, well, no, I know you know. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, it was a Commodore 64, and there's a picture. I'm in my underwear with a T-shirt on, and you sitting in my lap in a diaper with no shirt on. I don't think, if I remember correct.
No, I'm definitely just in a diaper. It's an amazing picture, by the way.
And we are on the computer when we were children, and that was probably how I was 8.
Yeah.
So that would be 1984, bro. That was when the boom started, bro. So 84. I saw all that before. So
yeah, you're right. I was a baby, so.
Yeah, so right. I'm even like more.
That's actually really good.
Than you know, more. Of a
That's a really good point to bring up that picture, by the way, because that explains everything. Because he's right. Like, even though here's the thing, I grew up with hardly like anything, but there was still there. Like, we had Atari, we had the old PCs, we eventually had Prodigy Internet and all this stuff before.
Why we're not using that on our website to promote the Media Brothers?
Well,
I don't know why. I don't know why we're not using that picture.
It's the best thing. We really should rebrand it.
We were Media Brothers since '84, bro.
And it's really us too.
We were Media Brothers in '84. That's the first podcast, 1984. No telling what I was saying to you at that time. Like, get off my. Hey, take the picture so you can get off my lap so I can finish my game. That's what I was thinking.
That's exactly because that's exactly what they did. They probably put you.
They propped him, bro.
Yeah, they put me in his lap. There's no doubt. Because I know my mom, especially, she would do that. And Aaron was like just playing and mind his own business. And then he had to look over and take a picture. But it is amazing because if you look at it, I am in Aaron's lap. And I'm just, what am I doing, Aaron? I'm on the keyboard looking right up at the screen. Like I'm like a baby that's playing the game. It's crazy, man. It is a pretty ridiculous picture that we should be using for sure.
We're definitely going to be using it from now on. So we need to figure that out. How we're going to use that.
Yeah, we're going to have to brand
our website. We got to website that somehow. But the crazy thing to me is just thinking back. I just want to just roll this back real quick.
By the way, MediaBroShow.com.
Yeah, MediaBroShow.com. So when I was a kid, that was 8 years old in that picture. Dad probably started bringing home computers back in around 1981, 82. Okay,
Yeah.
and these were the first home computers were available. TI, the Commodore 64 came, and it just blew up from that point on. You have Apple and IBM and all that shit coming through, right?
Yeah. For sure.
But the craziest thing, and I know we talked about this before, but I just want to point at it again because a lot of these people we have a lot of new listeners, so let's let them fill them on it. Fill them in on it. So whenever I first got into computing, I was 6, 7 years old, and my dad brought home, a computer. He brought home the TI, which we played around with in a little bit. But when the Commodore 64 came out thereafter, what year was the Commodore 64? Look it up for me if you don't mind.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, I got it.
I'm curious.
I think
I'm
I
curious
know. I think I know, but
because we had the TI, but
Not
I
gonna
remember
say.
I remember mainly I must have been like really young when the TI came out.
1982.
Okay, so the Commodore 64 came out in '82, and we had it. We immediately went out. My dad immediately went out and bought it as soon as it was available at that time, right? So
And
that
the
was
T-
'82.
The TI.
So I was 6.
Here you go. The TI 99, the one that we had before that.
Right.
And there's a TI 99A, 4A. That's 1981 and 82.
Okay, so '81 we had the TI, and then the Commodore came out, and the Commodore was more friendly to just like families, right? It was more like you could play games on it and stuff. So it was completely, the TI was just basically you had programs that you typed them in. That's what I want to say. So we got the TI. I didn't play much on TI when I was a kid because it was boring to me. It was just like typing in words and all that stuff. But when we got the Commodore 64,
So hey, dude. By the way, the TI $525. Just to give you an idea of how much it costs.
really,
Yeah, equivalent to $1,500 now though.
I wonder how Dad got that.
With inflation. So with inflation, think about it being $1,560. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
No, I'm just wondering how Dad paid for that back then because
Yeah.
we were living on a budget for
But
sure.
then you said that was the TI, so we had that, and then you're saying we got the 64.
so we had the TI. He had a TI in '81 probably, if I had to guess. In '82, the Commodore came out, and that was like everybody like jumped to it. Like that was to me.
Hey,
to be honest with you, the Commodore 64 was the first in-home computer that a lot of people went out and bought. Like it had Christmas specials and stuff.
Right.
So people went out of their way to get the Commodore 64.
That was
And
big.
I think that is what set up. To me, that is the original OG system.
Oh, I agree,
'Cause
especially
at
for
my
gaming.
age,
Especially for
At
gaming.
my age, so we had the TI when I was 6. We had the Commodore when I was 7, I guess. So you were just barely 1 year old when that picture was taken, for sure.
Yeah.
But
That's-
what I remember is this. Okay, so we would get these. My dad would have these magazines sent in. They were like these huge magazines that would come in.
Right.
And you'd open them up, and they'd have ways you could program your Commodore 64. So you would sit there, line by line, going in and actually programming the most simplest games ever. Like when I say simplest games ever, I mean like.
Like more than Pong.
So you spend 2 hours programming, and then after you're finally finished, you hit run. Okay, you type in
Right.
run. It would pop up, and it would say, something like, how old would you type in how old would I be in 2050, and it would tell you you'd be this old. That's like the program. It spends you hours just to get to that point, right?
the same thing a calculator would do.
And I played the first video game of all time, bro. It was we talked about this before on the show. It was Lemonade, and it was on a cassette tape.
Oh yeah.
The first video game, y'all, was on a cassette tape to the public. The first video game that was available to the public was on a cassette, bro. You had to like load it
Lemonade
in on side A, and like then you had to load it in on side B, and then you could play it, and it would be just like basically, how much do you want to sell your lemonade for? The temperature is this degrees. You're making this much, and you have a lemonade stand you run. But there's no graphics. It's just all words, right?
Yes.
That's the first video game I ever played.
Lemonade.
Yep, Lemonade.
For Commodore. I'm trying to find
And I
a
know
year
we
on
talked
that.
about this before, but it's funny,
Yeah.
bro.
It's actually older than so it came out on Commodore later, but yeah, in 1982. But it actually came out before that on some other shit.
What Lemonade did?
Yeah, like Apple. Apple II in 1979, dude.
So Apple II was out, and you know who had one of those? That was our people, which is our grandfather,
That's
had
right.
an Apple II, and it was all green. Like everything you typed was green. Like the screen was
Yeah, like
black
the
and
Matrix.
the numbers. It was exactly like the Matrix. That's how it. And then there was a game on that I played. So I played. I was at the age where I was just getting it. I mean, there was no video. There was no such thing as video games back then, right? So the first
Definitely.
video game I ever played, and there was others out there before that, I'm sure, but the first one I ever played was Lemonade Stand. And then the second game I probably ever played was when I went to Arkansas one year. People had Oregon Trail
Oh yeah,
on his Apple II, and we played that, which
That's
was
one of-
crazy.
that is one of the most known games ever. Because that's like what brought graphics to games. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the
Exactly.
first
It was the first graphics. And it was the first time that I saw graphics because, I saw the Lemonade Stand. And then I saw-
1985. for
And
Oregon
then I
Trail.
saw, so then I saw 85? Was
Yeah,
that right?
yeah, I'm looking at it right here
Wow.
for Apple II, 1985.
It was on the Apple because it was
Yeah.
the green. It was
And
the
then it
green
came
wording,
out
I
for
know.
DOS on 1990 on Windows, like DOS, the DOS.
So 80 what? Which side? 85 you said?
85 for Oregon Trail, 85.
So I had already been playing some video games by then because
Yeah,
the
but
Commodore
Oregon
64,
Trail was huge though.
The Commodore 64, the game I was playing whenever you were sitting in my lap was
Congo
called Congo Bongo, right? Which was still today to me one of the best games out there at that time.
Oh, it's
It
good.
was a fun game.
It's very good actually.
Yeah,
It reminds me. You remember Qbert? Qbert was another good one.
yeah. Qbert was good.
I like that.
so then I got the Atari. 'Cause when Atari, what year did the Atari come out? 84,
the
83?
big. You talking about like the one everybody had, the 2600?
No, the first Atari, the one before that. I think it was 1800. Maybe does that sound right?
The very first Atari. Hold on a second. I
Yeah.
got you.
So they had something. They had the Atari come out, and they had this other console
77.
come out. What?
77 was the first Atari.
Well, that wasn't the one that was
No,
was out in
hold
the
on.
public though.
Hold on.
Okay, let me ask you this. So Atari came out, and at the same time Atari came out, there was another console that came out, almost like a rival, and it had so the Atari has the joystick, which is
Yeah.
famous,
Talking
right?
about the Intellivision? You talking about that?
It was the Intellivision. It had
Yeah.
a little wheel.
I had
swung
one. I
back
know
and
somebody who
forth.
had one, dude. Like, we found it like in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
My friend Dean, you remember him?
Yeah, yeah.
His grandma had that and like two other systems that nobody heard of.
So that was the
Yeah.
rival of Atari. The
Yes.
Intellivision? That's
Yeah,
right,
and
right?
television. Yeah.
Intellivision was a rival of Atari. Now, and so I had some friends that had Intellivision. I had some friends that had Atari, but Atari kept pumping the games out. Game. That joystick was a game changer. Intellivision, all they had was
1980.
like this trackpad with buttons on the side, like a mouse. Picture a mouse with a wheel on top.
Yeah, it had like
You
a
could
wheel.
spin it left
Yeah.
and right. And it was
no,
it was
it looked-
awkward. It was just awkward the way
it
you
was,
had to use it.
it was more
right?
like a TV remote with the wheel on it. It wasn't, you
Maybe
know what I'm
so.
saying? Because it had all the buttons. It had all those buttons.
I have vague memories of it. I'll have to look it up to see what it's like, what it looks like now. But
Yeah, you'll know, dude. Look, it came out, and by the way, Intellivision was started development the year the Atari release, which was, by the way, the Atari 2600 was the first Atari. In 1977 was when that came out.
so you can imagine. Okay, so hold on. When did the Atari? I guess when did
And then Intellivision was 1980. So 3 years later, Intellivision came out as their main competitor.
Yeah, but when did Atari come out? Like the actual Atari, like the one everybody had.
I'm telling you, it's
mainstream
77.
one.
77. I got it right here. The very first Atari, and I thought it was something else too, but the very first Atari console was the 2600. Came out in 1977.
Really?
Yeah, that was the first one ever, dude.
Hmm.
And then they had one after that. That was like,
What was the next one?
okay, hold on. It was just 7200.
Which Atari went mainstream? It had to be the 2600.
Okay, there was also a 7800 that came out in 1986, and that had better
Yeah.
graphics.
No. It was.
I'm telling you,
2600.
though.
But
Yeah,
I'm
so-
saying it must have been 77 when the Atari was out, but I never.
Yeah.
So what it must have been is my
10
parents
years
never,
later, you got another.
It must have never. Okay. This is what I'm saying. Atari must have been introduced in 77, but when did it blow up? Like when did everybody have them in their house? I don't think it was 77. I'm almost
It
positive.
would probably
was
be
80s.
around the time Intellivision came out, which would be 1980.
80,
Three years
exactly,
later. Everybody would have had one by then. You know, like you know how Nintendo came out. When was the NES? Do you know? Hold on. So everybody had an NES, but it wasn't the first year.
I don't know. But
1985. So
let me just say, Atari was cool. It was the first time. It had to be later, bro, because it was to me when we had ours. It was definitely after the Commodore. So that was 82, 83. So maybe 84 is when I got the Atari, maybe. When did Atari
all right. So here's the thing,
take
though.
off?
So here's the thing about it like this though. Around 85, the NES started debut. So when Super Mario came out, nobody went back to Atari. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta think by 85, you had to have it by then, and you probably had it. You wouldn't have got an Atari, then the next year got a Nintendo. You know? Maybe though.
The 2600. That's the one I have with the wood grain on it.
Yeah, that's it. I know. Trust me. I thought there was one before that too, but I was wrong.
That's wild.
You know what there
It
is
brings
though?
back so many memories, bro. What is it?
There's a Genesis. That's like there's one that was before the Genesis. You remember your friends in Arkansas had it. Mom and dad's friends. It was the Sega Master System. Remember that?
No.
You don't remember that? It was like chips, dude. You should look that up. You would remember it. It was what's their name? You know what I'm talking about. I'm not gonna dox them, but it was mom and dad's friends in Arkansas. Y'all had friends with too.
Yeah, I mean, I know you're talking about. I just don't
Yeah,
remember
and
the-
it's like a chip. They had games that were chips, dude. I remember going there and thinking it was weird, like nobody had that. But that was before the Genesis
What's that called? The Sega what?
Master System.
I have to look that up. That's
You
crazy.
should check that out, dude.
What about
pretty-
the Atari Lynx? You remember that?
The Lynx was a handheld, so you
It
think
was.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was.
There was a dude in our neighborhood that had that, dude.
Was it cool? I never
Yeah.
even seen one.
It actually really was, dude. It got really hot. I remember though. Like it got really hot. Dude, I had to
Blow
speak.
up.
Dude, you want to talk about console? I guess that's what we're doing. We're doing nostalgia, but
We're just talking. Yeah,
we had a Game Gear too. Remember that? The Sega Game Gear.
Yeah.
And then we had a TV tuner. Like I always wanted this stupid. I'll tell this story because they had an accessory for. So imagine like a Game Boy, but it's a Sega version of it. And it burnt through at double A's too, dude. Like it ate them
Dude,
up like
you
a
use it for 10 minutes and your double A's
Diesel-
would be gone. 10 minutes, bro. This is before rechargeable batteries, by the
Yeah,
way.
you were just like
You had to fucking pay to play that motherfucker. It was like worse than going to like a like a place where you play video arcade.
Yes.
Like it was worse than putting quarters in
You
that
save
motherfucker.
money
You spent
going to
way
the
more.
arcade.
Yeah, you save money at the arcade. That's exactly right. But your parents were too lazy; they didn't want to bring you, so they're gonna buy back. Them bitches were gonna buy some batteries for sure.
like, Mom, can I have 100 batteries? How's that? Okay, I'll get you that for a year. No, I mean I just need it for a week. 100 double A's, please. It costs you $20 a week to play it.
That's like the Xbox controller. If you don't have rechargeable batteries for that motherfucker, you paying. You are paying.
Man.
You're either gonna buy $30 rechargeable batteries for your Xbox controller,
I still
or
can't
you're gonna
believe
buy
that,
some.
by the way.
You're gonna buy some batteries, bro.
Since we're down this road, man. So the big thing to me was Atari because I remember this stuff too. So the big thing to me was Atari because you had Pong. No, I'm sorry, not Pong, but Pac-Man. Right? That was the first time Pac-Man was in your house. I think that's a big deal for Atari. And
It
then
was
also,
huge. That's how Atari beat them all out because Pac-Man. They brought Pac-Man in.
They did,
But-
but then they had the terrible ET story. You know what I'm saying too, which is
The
only-
best game, my best. There was a few of them. Load Runner was good. A few
Oh,
of
I
them.
love Lode Runner.
But Pitfall.
Oh,
was
yeah.
that was my.
Pitfall's
jam.
really good,
I
though.
played some hours. That was the first game that I spent. That and then
That's a good game though.
what's the Space Invaders? Space Invaders and Pitfall were the two games that I put. That's the time I've actually put tons of hours into.
Space Invaders is really good too.
Yeah, that was unique. Space Invaders was what really got people hooked too.
Yeah, that was a really good one. You gotta. Well, they were trying to bring arcade games. That was the idea in your home.
Yeah.
And they kind of failed, which is crazy. The Atari story. If you don't know the Atari story, you can probably find some documentaries on Netflix. There's one really good one. I can't think of the name of it. I don't want to bring it up, not know it, but just go watch that old Atari history. Actually, I had a story about that. Check this out.
Wasn't
So-
it wasn't it a show that has a video game show and it was one of the Game Over is what it's called.
Yeah, that is a good one too.
That's
Game
the
Over.
extraterrestrial. That's the ET. Like the ET cartridge. You know they dug them out and found them. You saw that like not too long ago.
Yeah, Yeah, that definitely they unearthed. See, the whole story was they put so Atari. The long story short, if you haven't heard, like Atari was the first in-house console because they were trying to bring arcade games into the house and nobody was ever
That
doing
went to the first in-house console that
Yeah.
actually like got
Like,
to the
worked.
masses.
Yeah, they actually
It
worked
worked
out.
and it got to the masses, like everybody.
Right,
like-
and so they were trying to make like a high quality game, so they wanted to bring more people in to buy them, and they went out and hired like Steven Spielberg and shit, who made E.T. and they bought the license to E.T. and they had to pay all this money to get it, and then they rushed the game out. Long story short, basically, they sent out a buggy game that wasn't finished, and they put it on all these cartridges. So it's not like nowadays where they could just fix it with the software update. Like they were fucked because they printed out this game on like millions
Yeah,
of
bro.
cartridges, and it was buggy and it sucked. It was
Kids
terrible.
today have no idea, bro.
It was
Kids today-
terrible.
You were like when you bought a game, like there wasn't no social media, so you didn't know what games were good.
No.
I mean, all you could go by was the advertise on TV. You're like, ooh, that looks cool.
Yeah.
And you go buy it, and it could be the worst trash ever. Like, and you wouldn't know because there was no social media, bro.
Yeah.
All you heard was what people told you at school, like, ooh, this game's good. This game's good. Like what was the one? Not Space Jam. Damn it. There was
NBA
a game
Jam.
when I was
NBA Jam.
NBA Jam was
Yeah,
like
dude.
that.
Yeah.
That
awesome.
was for probably a Nintendo or something, I guess. Probably
No.
Nintendo.
It was in arcades, so it was midway.
I know, but it came to it like it came.
Oh
to a
yeah, it was on
console.
Sega, Genesis, and then Super Nintendo.
Okay,
both of
yeah.
those.
But NBA Jam was when
It's
that
really
when that
good
came
still.
out in the arcade.
Yeah,
That was one of the hottest games in the arcade at the time. It
Oh,
probably
yeah.
made more money than just about any of them.
yeah. And
can put it
that
like
game,
that.
that arcade. You know what's crazy about that? That arcade version had Shaq in it, and
Yeah.
and it's only the version that has him. The only one that has him in it.
Oh,
Out of
really?
all the the ones that
Wow.
came to consoles don't have him. So it's cool to you can find that on emulation too and play that like with Shaq. And the cool what's the cool thing about NBA Jam? So NBA Jam, if y'all have it, I'm sure everybody knows that's listening to this show. But if you're not into video games a long time ago, you might not know. It was a game it was a arcade style NBA game. It was licensed by the NBA. It was only like 2 players on each team. And like you could dunk it like crazy. Remember, Aaron? Like you could like smash the goal and
Bruh,
shit. Like
yeah, dude. Like if you got on fire, you're like hit every shot you make. You can shoot from half
yeah,
court.
that
you
was
make.
awesome, and that was fun. Like, so if you made 3 shots in a row, you would be like on fire.
You would
like,
catch on fire. Yeah,
and
on
he would
fire.
He's on fire. And
He's
like,
on fire.
and then the cool thing is you would hit every 3-point shot, but you could do these
Yeah.
crazy dunks though. You'd fly like a mile into
Yeah.
the air, like start smoking and shit. Like,
Yeah, you explode the whole backboard.
yeah, dude. And it
That
was
was
one
a
of-
fun
It was
game,
awesome,
bro.
dude.
That
It
a
was
fun
one of the
game.
better games, and one of the cool things was too, like they had secrets and shit. So like you could type in like different initials, and like it would be and, like different birth date as your
Yeah.
character. Like you'd be Bill Clinton and shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, dude. So it was like that was a big deal. I remember a lot of games changed the things. That one did big time. I don't know. There was an NFL version too called NFL Blitz. It was basically the same
Yeah,
thing.
it was good too.
Yeah, but another
It
one
was
that-
good, but it wasn't like
yeah,
NBA.
It wasn't,
Jam,
no, it
bro.
wasn't like NBA Jam. But
Yeah.
so the other, I'll tell you 2 more that changed things. I think Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat. I think those 2 games.
Yeah, those were
Like,
huge.
Dude,
yeah.
I just I remember Street Fighter like on some of those early Florida trips we took. That's some of my only memories is like watching you play that, dude.
Okay, so I told you what my first video game memory was. What's your first video game memory?
Oh man, it has
Keep
to
it
be-
okay, out there. Keep in mind, Andrew. Okay, I was born in '76.
Yeah.
Andrew was born on the exact same day,
Yeah.
December 10th.
You probably heard
7
me
years
say-
later.
probably heard me
So
say
we
that a
have
few
an we have an exact 7-year gap.
Yeah.
I mean, to the day.
Yeah.
So I told you my memories. 7
Yeah.
years later, what's your first memories?
Oh man, I have 2 of them. So I definitely, and I think just because of how good these games were, but Mario, like Super Mario, and you gotta think so.
Well, hold on.
Yeah,
When you say Super Mario, do you mean Super Mario Brothers?
Super Mario Brothers, for
like the
NES.
one on the NES, the
Yeah.
original OG. Well, that was the
Absolutely.
one that game brought video games to the masses. Like,
Yeah.
and Atari was huge.
I just remember that.
Atari has numbers, but
Right.
whenever the Nintendo took over, bruh,
Yeah, it was a whole new
that
game.
was a game changer. Nintendo was a game changer. Bottom line.
It was for sure. So I don't know if that's because it's dominated my memory, because I do have other memories. So I just remember that first Mario Brothers I played like probably more than any other game because I was a kid. So you got to think Mario that came out in 85, 86. So I was 3 and 4 when that came out. And I know y'all had it right away. I know we did because everybody did. That I mean, Punch Out.
Oh,
was
like I
a-
got it the first year. It was
so
out.
as much as I
For
remember
Christmas.
Mario,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. As much as I remember Mario, though, I remember Zelda, the very first Zelda game, the gold tape, because there was a. I mean, I just remember that. I remember that
The
music.
gold tape.
That music in those dungeons is like ingrained in my head, dude. Like if you go into a Zelda dungeon in that NES game, like that dong dong
It's a-
dong dong.
It's a
dong.
puzzle game too.
Shit
At
is
that,
awesome,
so
dude.
it was the first time a puzzle game was like introduced to the masses. I think
Oh, for sure.
because I mean
For sure.
Zelda is what it is, but it is puzzles. You got to figure shit out.
Well, yeah, you got to
know what I'm
bomb
saying?
walls and stuff. I mean, who would ever thought of bombing walls in a game, dude? You know what I'm saying?
No, I
Like
know.
those were secrets you had to. Be
And
able
then we
to
used to
figure
get, dude. I swear to God, if I didn't have the Nintendo Power
out. Oh yeah, the
magazine that told me how to get through Zelda, I probably would have never got through it. Shout out to Nintendo Power because
Yeah.
Nintendo Power changed the landscape of games. Also, people don't understand. Like
For sure.
Zelda was very difficult. Like if you didn't know what to do,
Yeah.
there were certain things you had
You
to
have to
do,
learn
like
from other
bomb- like,
people
and you
and
said
shit.
bombing walls. There were certain walls you had to bomb to progress, and without like a guide telling you, like once you tried it a few times, if
You would
couldn't
never
figure
find
out,
it. Yeah.
right? You would never. It'd be hard to find. So Nintendo Power pushed Zelda to where it was at because a lot of people would have gave up on that game because it was so
Yeah,
difficult
it's
at some
intricate.
points.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah. For
And so,
sure.
to be honest with you, I probably would have gave up on it because I mean, you know,
You'd have to bomb
especially-
it. Well, I mean, once you figured out, so once you hit the first bomb wall, though, you could probably get to the point where you bomb every wall. You know what I'm saying? You'd have to
You
go through
can.
every single. You'd have to do them all, though.
Yeah, exactly. But the Nintendo Power told you the right way to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, dude. I'm sure that was all planned together so they could sell magazines too. Think about
It
it.
worked though, but I'm just saying, if it wasn't for Nintendo Power, Zelda wouldn't be what it was today.
Oh,
in my
for sure.
opinion.
For sure, you had to look up hints and stuff. You remember you had to burn bushes and stuff. That how would you know those bushes to burn? By the
There were
like
so
water.
many. The Nintendo Power showed you. You could go through the game, whatever, without Nintendo Power. You could make
Right.
it through. You could, but there were so many secrets that Nintendo Power exposed.
Yeah.
Like you went back to the game. You went back to that game after you beat it, and you'd go and try to find all this shit you couldn't find before. And today's games try to do that, but they don't match it to that level when it was back then because
Oh no.
it was so important back then. Like it was such a different thing than what we were used to.
Yeah.
Like it was blowing our mind. This little JPEG
Yeah.
creature was blowing our freaking minds at the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, dude. So that game. So that's another one that I just have a lot of memories because I played it a million times. Like once I found that game, I didn't play much else. But so I have the other memory I have. So I'm gonna- the last one because I don't know which one's first because I was
Yeah.
so young. Is somebody, I think it was I'm not gonna say their name, but the people that lived down the road from us. They had it was. I remember it being on floppy disks, but it was Maniac Mansion, dude.
Maniac Mansion.
And I just have a lot of
One of my favorite games
have
of all
a
time.
lot
when I
of
was a
memories
kid,
of
bro.
that. You know, I remember.
You know, I've played it
for a
since.
while.
I'm playing it since. Like this is so trash.
Remember the remake? Do you remember that? I showed you that.
Yeah,
Hospital,
we looked
dude.
at it,
It's so
bro.
good, dude. I'm
The
telling
remake's
you.
good.
Yeah, man, it's really good.
Ah.
It's good. I mean,
I
come on,
remember
it's
I
classic.
learned. I remember I learned from Maniac Mansion what an Etzel was.
I remember when you saw one on the.
I saw one in real life
1.0.
and I took a picture of it.
Yeah.
I have a picture on my phone still of that Etzel. I'll
That game
post
was-
it. I'll post it.
But that game back then was also something that not.
So
a
these
lot
are
of people-
computer games now. So that Maniac Mansion was only on computer at the time.
was
along
Commodore,
with
though. Pretty
Skate
sure.
or Die. Skate or Die.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Those
For
are the
sure.
two. So after, so I think Skate or Die and Maniac Mansion was before Nintendo, but it must have been right before.
1987 was Maniac Mansion.
And when was Nintendo introduced?
I think we said 86.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so 1 year.
So about
after.
the same time. So just picture this, okay? Just go back here with me.
Yeah.
I'm a kid who played Atari. You know, I'm ponging it up, I'm pitfalling it up, and then all of a sudden this Nintendo comes out, right? And it's like
February 1986. There you go.
I went from that to the Nintendo. I went from the Atari to the Nintendo. I don't think there's anything in between.
No.
I mean,
that's
computer games, but they were average at best. I mean, Congo Bongo was amazing at the time, but it's nothing compared to anything now.
Mario
So then we go
changed
to
everything.
Nintendo, and then Mario came out, and my life was different from that point on.
Mario changed everything.
As soon as we plugged that controller in. And so then I'm getting hooked on that, and then I'm going out and looking for, okay, what other video games are out there? And so I'm getting on the computer and I'm seeing Skate or Die. And
Do you remember
Maniac
Excite Bike?
Mansion.
Excite Bike.
Excite Bike was a huge fucking Nintendo game.
Yeah.
Bro, I played so much Excite Bike, bro.
That's a good one too, right?
Somebody know what Excite Bike is? It's a Nintendo game where you're a motocross and you're jumping these hills.
So good.
You gotta jump them. You gotta jump them just right. You gotta go left or right, just right.
Yeah.
To
make your wheel go up. Yep.
right. You gotta make your bike like you
And
know,
that turbo
adjust to
button.
the actual jump.
You had a turbo button. You could overheat if you used too much of it. Remember?
That was fun, bro. I mean, back in the day, there was so many.
Dude,
good
that game
games
was
back
so
in the
cool,
day.
dude. I'll blow your mind, dude. That game was so cool. I don't know what year that was. Let me look it up. But you could actually build your own maps, dude.
It was
You
like
remember that?
Excite Bike. Yeah, Excite Bike was.
But you could build your own level. I mean, how
Was
cool
what-
is that?
It had to be
1984.
87.
84,
Oh.
bro.
It was one of the first games.
November 30th, 84.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's
So Excite Bike. So whenever you got the Nintendo, you got the Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt combo, right? So Duck Hunt was a
85.
game that was whenever Nintendo hit it big in their first huge big year.
yeah, Duck Hunt.
They
was
put
pretty
on one cartridge. They put Duck Hunt and they put Mario Brothers. Mario
Yeah.
Brothers took off. Duck Hunt was fun too because you had a gun
big. Yeah, they got you.
that
there.
actually came with the Nintendo. You plugged in and you could shoot the ducks. That was a hit too because that was something nobody. Imagine going from an Atari to that, where you're
Oh, I can't
shooting
even imagine.
things on your
Yeah.
TV screen, and you're trying to figure out how the fuck does this TV
Yeah.
screen know I'm shooting at it. At that time, your mind is blown because
Yeah,
there's
that's a good point. I
black
forgot
and
about
bro.
that.
The TV has our TVs have dials at this point. Like when I had an Atari, my TV didn't have numbers. It had two dials on it that you had to turn
Yeah, it's like an oven.
to dial into a certain station. And if
It
you
was
were
like an
off
old
a little
school
bit, your
oven
shit-
or a stove.
The shit would be jacked up, bro. It was coming through, bro. It was crazy.
Imagine
terrible.
like a stove dial when you had to get right into a spot. It's like that's
and
crazy.
to just think of where I've came from there to having no technology because when
Yeah.
I was a young kid,
That's a good point.
there was zero technology. Telephones were like the
Telephone.
landlines were like the most amazing thing in the world.
Yeah, it was like
To
it was
me-
magic. Remember cordless phones? That was like magic.
Yeah.
Cordless phone
Yeah.
magic.
Exactly. So I went from having just a landline telephone with rotary dial. Look that up, people, young people out there who don't know what that is. I went from that to where we're at today, bro. I've seen all that. I've seen the whole evolution from start to beginning.
Yeah,
You
you're right.
have too. You have too, but I started a little bit earlier than you. So I
Yeah.
can see a little
You got
bit
more memories,
of,
yeah.
of the actual introduction of technology to the how it was before and how it was with after. And I've never not seen, after 1984 technology. Never before 1984 or 83 or whatever, I saw zero technology.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything out there. You
No.
know?
It's like a marker almost that year. Like, everything blew up around after I-
1980, bro, was the year. Bro.
Yeah,
That's the
right
year
before I got
everything
born,
changed.
dude. And right after, I was born in
Yeah.
83, so I mean that's right there though, right in the middle of it. That's
That's
crazy to think
wild
about.
to think about, man.
Excite Bike was good though. I'm looking at it right now, some screenshots and stuff.
Yeah,
That was a
Excite
good
Bike.
one, dude.
But kids today would laugh at that, bro.
Oh, they would, dude. But I mean, that changed the games. Like, we can't. So since we're in kind of this mode, you can't deny what Nintendo did. Like, so here's we didn't finish that story, by the way. So they shipped out all those bad ET games, Atari, going back to Atari, where everybody had an Atari, and then they spent too much money. They went bankrupt over that one game. That's basically what happened. They couldn't sell it. It was so crappy, nobody wanted it, and they had pallets and pallets of this ET game. And so they literally poured concrete and put them in a landfill, and it was a myth forever, dude. Like people said it happened, but nobody could prove it. And Atari went out of business and went bankrupt. And then so Nintendo's known for coming back because the whole home video game system was just out. They called it it's called like the Crash or whatever.
Let me just say this real quick before you go any
Yeah.
further. You continue in a second.
Yeah.
I bought the ET game.
Did you throw it away?
I've actually played ET probably on the first week of it coming out. So I have experience actually playing the game. A lot of people don't. A lot of people
it's
know
pretty
it's voted the worst video game of all time.
Pretty
It
terrible.
literally was the worst video game of all time. Like,
It was bad, I'm sure.
I felt bad. My parents spent money on it because money was tight at the time.
Yeah.
I was like, "What is this garbage?" I mean, it was, bruh.
It killed Atari. It was so bad. It killed
Go
the
watch
whole
that.
company.
Anybody who wants to know what we're talking about, go watch the Netflix. There's a Netflix
Yeah.
series. What we
So
say?
anyway, so
High Score. High
High
score.
score. Yeah. So here's the thing. They buried it. It was a myth forever. Everybody's like, no, they didn't. Though. And so they dug it up, and then you can see it. They actually did dig it up, and there was a bunch of other cartridges too. But it was like when Atari went out of business. So everybody was saying like the video game industry was over for, and all that, and then Nintendo came out and changed. The thing I was saying is you can't stress enough what Nintendo did. They single-handedly like revived the whole video game industry, and that's based
Right.
off Mario alone, dude. I would think.
Yeah, Nintendo did it, bro. But Nintendo is just they went too soft.
Yeah.
They could have stayed. Look, Nintendo could be on top right now
If they
over
wanted to
Sony
be.
and Xbox. But the problem is they catered to children and they didn't take the older gamer into account.
Not really.
And
Not
I
really.
mean they're trying now. Now don't get me wrong, they're trying to catch back up now. But
Yeah, but it's too late.
But Nintendo always catered to the smaller, younger person. And then Sony and Xbox went totally opposite of that. They went for all the older gamers because a lot of us were growing up. A
Yeah.
lot of us were growing older. And the funny thing is people say, I can't believe, like my boss, he tells me, I can't believe you play video games. You're 45 years old. Dude, I grew up. This is like all I know since I was 6 years old.
Yeah.
I played video games my entire
Forever.
life. I am not going to stop anytime soon, especially when the technology is getting so amazing right now.
Yeah. No doubt.
You know?
And it looks so much better. Like everything's. I mean, like you played. I don't have my PS5 right now, but you played the Call of Duty. How real is that, dude? That looks real, right? That was,
It is real. It is really real, and the graphics are amazing on the PlayStation. But the computer version, on running on a high end
PC,
like
yeah, but
video
it looks-
card or whatever,
yeah, for sure.
GPU is off the charts. But it looks really good. It's amazing. I like the new Call of Duty. I'll put that out there. I like it a lot.
cool.
It's Modern Warfare 2, which is funny because they've already had a Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, they did.
The funny thing is I've seen some
They're redoing
TikToks
them
where
all.
somebody's like, "Oh my God, you got me water!" Like a kid's opening up a Christmas present or whatever. He's joking. It's fake, obviously. He opened a Christmas present. Like, you got me Modern Warfare 2, and he pulls it out and it's the old Modern Warfare 2. Like, why did they use that name?
I don't know. Why don't they keep going back and reboot?
Why did they use the exact same name of the game they already produced? Tell me why.
I don't know because they want to be known as that version of Call of Duty. Like it's the two companies thing. What is it? It's like Treyarch and they still do that, and the other one's
No,
Infinity
yeah, I
Ward.
think they're all kind of combined now. They still.
I don't
like
know,
their-
man. I think they
still
I think
offset.
they have two.
They do their own things, yeah, which is cool. I think it's cool because
Yeah.
but
They're milking it. 'cause they-
Treyarch is the one who's doing this one, and that's the one I think is better.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fucking people pissed off, like gaming people in the gaming community, like the professional gamers,
Yeah. Can they
because-
just do 3? Like Modern Warfare 3? Could they just go to the next number?
or they say Modern Warfare,
4?
New Millennium or something, anything. You can pick any words out. Just change. Just don't put the exact same name of the fucking
we just-
game.
Can we just
The
not
exact.
do
It's,
Modern Warfare?
it's that no. Both of them are Modern Warfare 2. Both of them.
Can we do non-Modern Warfare? Just put that out there, like not a
No,
flame.
hold on. Both of them are Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. They even have a 10 word name. They're exactly the same. And one's like 2012 or 15.
You can at
or
least
some
put like
shit.
2.5. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
something.
Or the newer Modern Warfare 2. Something to
The
differentiate
new.
it.
Remember when, like the new Super Mario?
Bro, let
Bros.
me tell you, the new game is good. A lot of the professional gamers are pissed off because the average person can do really well in the new Modern Warfare. It's not like you can't like just run and slide and shoot everybody and then run around the map like a fucking maniac. So the problem over the years, if anybody doesn't know about Modern Warfare, over the past few years, it's gotten to the point where people just run around the map like a fucking maniac and just fucking murder everybody, and it's just, and then those people score great, and you have a chance to take that person out. I get it, yeah, all that stuff, but it's just speed, right? Well, this Modern Warfare, they wanted to make more realistic, so they slowed the game down some. So I do a lot better when I move methodically through the maps
Yeah.
compared to I just run around and try to fucking bang everybody. There's so many corners, there's so many, you can get backsided on a lot of plays. It's a lot better when you go around slower, so they're trying to slow the game down, and it makes the average player, it gives them a better chance to get, like the other night I got a 41 kill streak in one team deathmatch, and I'm an average player. You know, I could. There's no way I could do that. Also, they implemented match. I can't remember what you fucking call it, but it's where they match up like the people you're playing against online with kind of the similar skill.
Yeah, matchmaking.
Something matchmake. I can't remember what they call it, but they match it up to where you're equal skill, so you're not playing against freaking 10 guys who are running shop, you know, and you're fucking a rookie here, and they're not gonna fucking just lay you out and you want to end the game. They put you in with beginners. They put you in mid-range people. You know, that's where I'm at. I'm mid-range, so I have a better chance of doing well.
Yeah.
You know, in some of these matches. So I like it, bro. The maps are good. Also, they're about to do. So, I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot tonight.
No, you're good.
But so they're also doing, you know, the new something called DMZ, which is like you and your friends or whatever, y'all go in together. It's a tactical thing, and you got to get rescued. So you go in, you collect the loot, and you run out. And if you get killed, you lose all your loot. You lose everything you brought in too. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Tarkov. Have you ever heard of that Tarkov game?
Yeah, I know. I've heard of that. I've seen it.
And so Tarkov is like that. So it's a drop in, run around, grab your shit, and then explode out. You know. So that's the thing. And also a bunch of new maps are about to drop. They're doing the Shipment, which is a smaller map, which I've been hoping for Call of Duty.
Oh, right.
Shipment. We need some smaller maps. Right now the maps are just medium. To me, they're medium to large. There's no small maps. And I like the small maps because I like to level up my pistols and stuff. You know, it's hard to do that on a big map.
Yeah. I like that. I like the pistols too. If you can actually use them, that's the thing. You're not gonna get blasted playing with them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you're in a really, really small map, you can run around. You might catch some people in the back. Yeah, you might catch people in the back or running behind them where you can shoot them with the pistol. Well, you can't really do that too easily on a map. So the way Call of Duty works is there's 3 medium-sized games where you pick what you want to play, capture the flag, all that stuff.
Right.
But then there's also 2 huge world maps where it's like a battle, where you're just going in and there's a lot of AI that keeps getting dropped on the map over and over again. So you have a lot of opportunity to kill AI and real players.
Oh, cool.
And they also have a third-person view, which I haven't even tried yet. I need to try it out.
Yeah.
Everybody's raving about the third-person view play. There's an actual thing where you can play these maps third-person view, where your character's standing in front of you instead of you being the character. You know. Yeah. And people are loving it. So
if it plays well, I like the third-person view. I like going back and forth. You know. I like games that you. I
need to check it out, bro. I'm just not really a third-person view guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, maybe I am. I don't know.
Not in something like Call of Duty, but I don't think. But I mean, I would try it just to see what it was like. You know, that's pretty cool though.
But supposedly people like it so much they're trying to bring it back to. They're trying to expand it. So maybe that's something. But you know what? This Call of Duty is going to be the first one that's going to be 2 years. Did I tell you that?
No. Oh yeah, we talked about it once. Yeah, I think we talked about it.
It's going to be 2 years, and also we usually Call of Duty's have a 1-year run. This is the first one that's going to have a fucking 2-year run for any new one comes out. So it also gives Treyarch. This is Treyarch. What's the other one? Activision.
Infinity War.
Infinity War. So Activision owns Infinity War and Treyarch, and they swap back and forth, right?
Yeah.
So Infinity War, it gives them actually 2 years to work on theirs, so they're not rushed every year to get something, or every 2 years to get something out. They actually have 3 years to get something out now.
See, I think another year. I think you're swapping the people. I think Infinity War does the Modern Warfare ones. So we would think about Treyarch working.
No, this is Treyarch. I'm almost positive this is Treyarch for some reason.
Well, I just know that Modern Warfare has always been Infinity War.
That's why they're doing 2, because that's
probably the reason then.
That's why there's 2 Modern Warfare 2s, because each fucking thing did it, and they're fucking big balling. Check and see to make sure I'm right.
It looks like.
Come on.
Without looking at it, it looks like it's them. Yeah, it's them.
It's Treyarch doing this.
So they're calling it a reboot of the first 2. There's your answer. So they had a Call of Duty Modern Warfare. They had a Modern Warfare 1 and a Modern Warfare 1. And now
who does? Which one does?
Infinity Ward.
Okay.
And so now this is their sequel, Modern. So they had
this is Infinity Ward.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
They also Treyarch's doing the next one. And I just knew
But it gives them an extra year. It gives them an extra year to do it because.
The only reason I even knew that is because I always knew Infinity War did all the Modern Warfares, and then the reason I think about Treyarch is the World War I and the Black Ops. That's all Treyarch.
Yeah, Black Ops. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking
because
of.
they do the zombies and all that shit too. So they're both
Yeah.
good, honestly.
No, but the way they're going to do a 2-year run is they're going to, I suppose they're going to introduce all the old maps, like all the old favorite maps. Did I tell you that? Did we talk
Yeah.
about that?
I don't think so.
Okay, so they're going to what they're going to do is they're going to do a 2-year run, and in year number 2, which would be 2000 next year, probably this time,
Yeah, 23.
they're going to release content that you have to purchase, obviously, but it's going to be supposed to be all the favorite maps from
Oh, okay.
every Call of Duty ever, because it's 20th anniversary this year. I think is that what it is?
Right.
20th
It
anniversary.
might be. Yeah, it's
So
been
doing a
out for while.
20th anniversary bundle. It's going to have all the favorite maps that you can remember.
That's
So if
cool.
you can remember some of your best maps, which I can remember a few of them that
Yeah.
I really loved, those should be in this.
That's pretty cool. The next one.
The next one, yeah.
Or this one.
No, this one.
yeah, this one they're gonna do
Next year. Yeah,
they're
next
gonna
year.
add to. Oh, that's why. Yeah, the 2-year thing. They're gonna add content for those 2 years. What you're saying?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
So Call of Duty is cool. If anybody wants to play it, it's fun. I like it. There's some crazy maps on there. There's one map on the highway where there's 1 million cars.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fun. It's different.
Yeah. So that's cool, dude. Yeah. We were playing. Oh, dude, I saw. I don't know if I talked about this. It's been a while since we've been on the show, but I did started watching Yellowstone. I do like that. So I'm only in-
Tomorrow night's the new episode's coming.
I'm still catching up. I'm towards the end of season 2, so it's good.
Dude, to
though.
be honest with you, I'm not really watching any. Can you believe I'm down to 0 TV basically right now?
0? I don't believe that.
Yeah, like I mean, I watch stuff with my wife because she, because I want to hang out with her, and we watch, Survivor, and we watch The Challenge, but I'm not really watching anything but YouTube. Like I watch YouTube videos every night. That's all I do. I play video games and I watch YouTube videos at
I would
night.
have never this show. The first version of it, the 1.0. Aaron was like watching so much TV. Like some of the entire shows were just like literally me asking him what he's watching.
Yeah, and I was watching like 30-something things at one time. Before.
30 of them.
I used to watch everything. I used to watch everything I could
exaggerating.
ever. Dude, I still haven't finished. I mean, I did. I'm sorry, I just finished it. What's the Star Wars one that just came out?
Oh, I haven't watched that yet. The new one.
It's a
Andor.
bruh.
I heard it's good.
It is fucking awesome, bro.
Yeah.
You
I
haven't
wanna
seen
watch
that yet?
No, I haven't. I need to watch it.
You are
before I go
going
back
to
work.
love that. Bro.
I need
That
to do
is-
it tomorrow.
To me, that feels like that's what Star Wars.
I've been
is-
wanting to bad, man.
This is what Star Wars should be.
Yeah,
is what
that's what I've
Andor
heard.
is doing. It's amazing, bro. It's great. So that's a good one to watch.
Yeah.
And then we watch Game of Thrones, and then I still
was
haven't
good,
finished.
right?
I still haven't finished Lord of the Rings, and I want to do that. I want to finish it. I know it's good. I want to finish it. I just haven't done it.
I haven't finished that, so I haven't watched more than 2 of those. House of the Dragon, I thought was awesome the whole season. I don't know if we ever got to talk about it. I think
No,
it's
we
good.
haven't. It's amazing.
It's the whole thing is good. So
Better
go
than
watch
the
that.
original.
Definitely, dude, it's hard, and I will say
I'm gonna lay
this.
the gauntlet down, bro. It's better than
Yeah.
the original.
I'm gonna say this: the first season of Game of Thrones, the whole thing, if you from start to finish, because we talked about this multiple times. It starts with like the White Walkers in the very first episode, and then you see it goes throughout the the guy
I
from
keep talking. I go pee real quick.
Yeah, no, it's cool. Then
I'll
you,
just tell you in real time. I ain't like you. I ain't
Yeah.
like you. I gotta go pee. Right back.
no, it's cool. So, and then I mean, you go throughout the first season of Game of Thrones, and it's very good. It's strong, man. And you get to the point where you get to the very. I'm not gonna if you haven't seen it, but the head moment, where the head was chopped off. I'm not gonna say who if you haven't seen it. I think at this point everybody on the show has seen it. But that like leaves you shocked, man. And that's how. And it doesn't even end that way. Like. You would think that moment in the first season of Game of Thrones is like the moment, like that with the head, and then they end it with the one of the biggest, probably most memorable shots closing a season, if not an episode of all time, when Daenerys is like she emerges from the fire, she's like she has no clothes on, and then the dragons hatch. And then right as the dragons hatch, it cuts off, and it's like the end of the first season. Like it doesn't get much better than that.
Well, that's my favorite episode ever.
So I was talking about the head being cut off. I didn't say who, but then I said that the head getting chopped off in the first season, and then after that it ends with her hatching the dragons. I mean, you can't almost get any better than a first season run of Game of Thrones original.
No, but I think this rivaled that.
But this might if I talked about it before. I think it was just as good, if not. I think it might even be better. The House of Dragon just moved fast, dude. There was no bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can't, and like it just went. The acting is really good in it.
What they did differently is they did time jumps in
And
this.
the time jumps, I was just about to say, or they definitely. What do you think? I mean, a lot of people it was controversial, dude, because they did like 2 pretty major time jumps, and they changed actors and actresses.
No, I think the way they did it kept it rolling. I just worry about them run out of material.
Well, they
Because
already
to me, if they skip 10 years, or they probably skip 10 years both times, right?
Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe a little more, maybe
Yeah,
more.
it was around that time. Yeah,
But I'm just guessing
right
it's 10 years, just off the top of my head, 10 years between each one. There's a lot of stuff they could have put in those 10 years to keep the story going. So I know where they're at now, and I don't know.
Well,
That last episode, bro. God,
Yeah,
that last.
The last,
Oh.
I mean, the whole thing was good. I'll say this: there's a lot of fucking baby birth shit they could have, they didn't have to go that far into. There was a lot
Like
of that
3
going
times,
on.
right?
I know.
I'm like,
and it was
I
all
don't-
brutal. All
this
of
is
it.
the
It was
third
not-
time I get to see some kid ripped out of some chick, right?
I know, and it's always like
Oh.
just really brutal and
Brutal.
like really graphic, and they always go for too long.
And I don't mind seeing it like once
No,
or
me
twice,
neither.
but 3 times.
They
bro.
stay on it too long though. It's like go to the next camera shot. It's enough.
Yeah, like I don't even
like-
want to see that at all.
it's like legal
Like I don't
shit.
even watch it, bro. I just close my eyes or I look away. I can't even watch that kind of crap.
I know. I mean,
I get
they-
too queasy.
They kind of overdid that, but as a whole though, it's awesome. And so here's the thing: they're gonna have 4 seasons total of this show. That's what I've heard. And so it's going through the book of the history of the Targaryen. So now there's basically a civil war that happens, and that's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be that whole thing leading up to when Robert takes over, who starts in Game of Thrones. You know, that whole thing.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get a lot of content, bro. And the thing about the thing about the House of Dragons is it's written as a history book, unlike the game Song of Fire and Ice. So it's just like a very straight and to the point of how it's written. You know, there's not a
Yeah.
lot of room for dialogue and people talking. So
Yeah.
that even shows you, that bodes well for the future of this show, because that means the writers of that show that they picked did a damn good job, dude. Because that actor that played that main king, Viserys, who rotted away and shit.
Yeah.
That dude deserves what is it, an Emmy or whatever? He needs to win something for that. Dude,
Yeah.
he was awesome, dude. That was really good acting, dude.
Well, so spoiler alert. But okay, so in the first Game of Thrones, they talk about how Rhaenyra dies in the original Game of Thrones. Have you seen that yet?
No. In the
Okay,
original
so I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil it for you. Then.
No. I don't
Yeah.
remember that. I mean, you know. Yeah, I
So
didn't-
whenever I think Lady Stark was talking to one of her children, and she was telling her the story about how Rhaenyra, the
Okay.
Great Queen, died, and she told the story in the original Game of Thrones
Oh,
about
that's
how
pretty
she
cool.
dies.
That's awesome.
So if you wanted the real huge spoiler, go back there. Go
Yeah.
back to that the original game. Just look it up. It's all over online. You can see it. And if you really want to know, if not, if you don't want to know the ending
Yeah.
of Rhaenyra, then do not look it up. This is a huge spoiler. This is an
In their own
official
show.
spoiler alert. Like
Yeah.
if you want to know the ending of how Rhaenyra is going to go, then you can figure that out. So anyway,
Yeah. And that was it's really good, and I think it's got a good hope for that. I don't think they'll ever come out with the next book in the Game of Thrones series anywhere. Song of Ice. That's one of our recurring jokes, but he's writing other books.
bro, he ain't gonna be alive much longer. I've seen him. I've seen him on TV the other day, bro. He ain't gonna be around much longer.
He's
There
right.
ain't no way. I'm surprised COVID didn't take that motherfucker out, bro. I'm serious. Like all he had to do was catch it. He must have been in a bubble somewhere.
Oh, I'm
He
sure
did not want to
didn't.
get. That dude did not want to get COVID.
No, I'm sure he didn't leave.
He
probably
did not
didn't
want to
leave
get
at all.
COVID. He was gone, bro. He was a goner for sure.
I don't think he's writing other books though. Remember, we talked about that a lot.
He's an idiot.
His WordStar program's broke.
Okay, bro. So we need to talk about since we're like 55 minutes here.
Yeah,
about 54
okay.
minutes
Damn.
in. We got Media Brothers 3.0 coming up shortly, or what you thinking?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know where.
See, we got a good kind of game plan of how we're gonna we got kind of an idea how we want to run 3.0, and that's going to
Yes.
start in 2023, January 1st, right? Because we switched to
That's what
2.0
Yeah, we did.
in January 2022,
Yeah,
and we should
upgraded.
go ahead and flip over to 3.0 in 2023, which is 3.0 23. See, it's perfect. There's 2 3s there.
Yeah, right. Season 2. Season
We got some ideas about how we're going to do it. Like, what are we thinking? Like, what's
call
your
them
take on it?
seasons. I don't know, man. I've been trying a lot of things, so I've been testing out streaming since I got a new setup. Well, we'll go into that one day.
We had
So-
definitely talked about putting the show online.
Yeah. I mean, we're already
and-
doing video. We got streaming abilities now. We're playing games. I was doing music the other day, so I don't know. I don't know what it looks like. I think we can do. We're playing Rust, and so do we just bring the show like we could do our show like live? We can play and then do the show while like I gotta get good at it though to be able to do
Well,
that.
that's the thing is, I think we keep the show like we have it now, the once a week,
We can go live. Though.
squeezing in when we can, right? But also, I think we're gonna have some live streams on Twitch and YouTube
Yeah,
of us
absolutely.
playing games. I think we're going to have
Yes, we are.
our show actually going to be on YouTube stream live,
Oh,
which we could do,
We could do
which we
Twitch,
need
too.
to talk about. Yeah, so we're about to actually have some live versions of us talking
yeah.
coming out there to the market. Hopefully the tens of our fans follow us.
The 15 people out there.
It's more like 15 times 10 around that. But I mean, hopefully they follow us where we go. We're going to be doing a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I
You
think
know,
it's
we're-
going to be. I think
we're
we get a lot
evo-
of variety from our channel.
We're going to evolve the show. We're going to be everything from video games to TV reviewers, and that's what we're going to do. But expect to see us streaming some games
Yeah.
coming up here in the future.
Yeah, I wanna
and
do
we're going to have
games.
some videos coming out. So, expect to see that. Expect us to see our show actually streamed on some different services. We're going to start working on that. And hopefully by the beginning of the year, we'll be ready to introduce Media Brothers 3.0.
Yeah, we got some work to do, but I think it'll be cool, and I think people will find us that way more too because we'll be streaming. You know what I'm saying? You'll be on a service that's live. People will find us that way.
Well,
too.
yeah. Well, the way I look at it is we took 2.0 and we evolved it from the first time we did the show.
Oh yeah.
And I think
We
we're kind of
definitely did.
mastered. We kind of got it down pat, and we're comfortable doing it. And now we're going to introduce 3.0. We're going to introduce some different things that we haven't done yet. But as of by the end of the next year, hopefully we'll be able to have that actually mastered, and then we can improve on what we want to do in the following year. So we're just
Yeah.
going to grow the show organically. I
And
think
we've
that's
all
what we
we've
need
all
to do.
we've constantly been upgraded. That's for sure. We've been updating it each year. I mean, the crazy thing is we've been around long enough to talk about multiple years, Aaron. It's kind of crazy, huh?
I know, right? We're on 68 shows.
Yeah. Since 2020.
Well, 2021 maybe.
I don't know. Well, no, we started season 2 in 20. Well,
When?
Yeah. Well, no, you might be right. I don't know. Was it during?
We need to
COVID or
find out.
after
No,
COVID?
it's got to be 2021, bro. Oh my
I can
God.
get it. Hold on. I can
People
get it
out there,
right
I'm stupid
We
sometimes.
don't even know our own show. This dude.
Yeah, bro. It's just kind of goes. We do so many
I
of
think
them.
it was
just-
2020 myself, but let me see. I'm not gonna.
No, 2021 for sure. It's 2021. In January is when we started. So actually, this is year 2 of 2.0. So we'll have
Yeah,
to
you're right.
do.
Well, no. Here's what we did. So you're right. So January 20th, 2021 is when we started this 2.0. What we did is we changed the seasons. So we called it 2.0. We didn't call it 3.0. So we did 2.0 season 2.
No,
and
3.0 would be the next progression of the show, which will be starting
Yeah.
in January.
That's a whole different thing. So it's almost like we need different way to.
So we're gonna stream like Rust. I mean, I know nobody knows about that game. A lot of people do, but it's one of my
Aaron
favorite
does- he
games.
talks
I'm
about
getting,
it a lot. So
and there's a lot of streamers that do pretty good with it. So I want to start streaming that, and me and Andrew are gonna do it together. I think we're gonna work out some kind of like dual streaming idea that we're working on. Like a lot of people aren't doing. So we'll do that, but we're gonna play other games too. Andrew was talking about he's gonna stream some,
Yeah.
classics like from the Nintendo and Nintendo
Yeah.
64. And
Yeah,
he was
with
talking about
some
doing
emulation.
Metroid the other day, I think, right? Metroid, is that what you're talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. I was playing Metroid Prime So it's cool. It's like Metroid.
It's like a 4K Metroid.
Yeah, it's HD and everything, dude. It's really good. It's and it's crazy. It's like it's a 3D version of Metroid. Like it's a first person shooter, and it came out originally on the GameCube, so you had to play it with a shitty controller.
Yeah.
And then it came out the whole trilogy. There's 3 games in the series. It's really good too, because you
I love Metroid. Like Metroid I played
dude. It's amazing. You would love
hours
it,
on
dude.
pouring hours and pouring hours.
Dude, if I
of
set
Metroid
this
when I
up
was a
for you,
kid.
you would sit there and play it on in, dude.
Yeah.
And then, but somebody figured out these people out there are amazing. By the way, shout out to the developers and programmer geeks and all the people my people out there. But people figured out a way to play with keyboard and mouse, and so it's just
Right.
a client you get. So you're playing a HD version of Metroid, which is one of the Nintendo's best properties. That they're supposed to make a part 4, by the way, Metroid Prime 4 for the Switch, and they just keep teasing it, but they don't ever show anything.
No, I heard some stuff about that.
Well, yeah, they had to restart it. They dumped everything and started.
I don't
over.
think it's gonna come, bro. To be honest with you.
Anyway, so I want to play that. I think that would be cool. So when Aaron and me can't hook up, we can stream. See, we got to make a new channel. I guess. How do you want to? I guess we can talk about that.
I don't know.
later.
That's
Yeah.
all. Like, yeah, we
all-
got
that's
to
all
the beginning
behind
of
the
the year.
scenes,
We
but
got to
we're
the beginning of
gonna-
the year to launch it. We're gonna perfect
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
gonna-
practice some.
Yeah.
So if you ever catch it on our Twitter, we have a Twitch station. And I'll put that in our. We need to put that on our bio, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna change the link tree too. I'm gonna do.
Yeah. So our
some
link tree needs to be
housekeeping.
added. Yeah. So our Twitch needs to be updated on our. So you'll be able to see us there, and you can follow us on Twitch. Whenever we do go live and practice some of this stuff or play some of these games, you can follow us. You know,
Yeah.
it'll alert you and let you know. It'd be fun.
We'll give you more content too, because we'll just bullshit while we're playing. It's gonna be fun.
Okay. The elephant's out. The elephant's in the room. We need to talk about it before the end of the show.
I wanted to start the
Let's
show.
talk about Elon.
Why do you let me start the show with this?
Because I didn't want to. Because I didn't want it to be an all Elon show. And I know if we got on the Elon subject, it would ramble on. So I put it at the very end of the show, so we can kind of get through it pretty quickly and just end it. You know.
Instead,
So,
we rambled on about computer consoles and computer games.
Just let me tell you, bro. Elon is the man, bro.
Oh, I know. I've been a huge fan. I mean, you can go back in all the shows. We started this podcast in 2013. If you don't know that, and back then we liked him. I've liked him the whole time. Aaron got pissed at him from once or twice about crypto.
No. Not talking about crypto. I'm
But he was just
pissed at him because he always sets deadlines and he never meets
Oh,
them.
yeah.
And I think anybody who
That's it.
doesn't meet deadlines or even get close to meeting those deadlines
Yeah.
is pumping smoke a lot of times. But I mean, he's
Yeah,
got
you're
a lot
right.
of stuff to back it up. But just if you're gonna say, look, I'm gonna do this by this, it needs to be this by this, not
Yeah.
3 or 4 years later.
Yeah, he does do that
anyway,
a lot. Anyway,
That's
but
what pisses me off about Elon. Anyway.
He's done a lot of good shit though since then, and I mean nobody thought he was buy Twitter, dude. Like the funniest thing about him buying Twitter is there's like a tweet from years ago, and they're like, he said something, and somebody said, hey, you should buy you should buy Twitter, and he was like, how much?
Right.
So he has a tweet out there from like years ago, and
His troll tweet made him buy Twitter, by the way. If he wouldn't have trolled that tweet, he never would have bought Twitter.
he was like, I wonder if I could do it.
Dude, when you're so rich, when you can drop $44 billion and not even think bat an eye about
Dude,
it,
I can't believe. I mean, he
going
did it.
bankrupt, and it could go bankrupt. We don't even know at this
And,
point.
yeah.
He said we're losing $4 million a day.
I've said on here, or like since the beginning, he would buy it no matter. Like I didn't fault. I don't think
So-
you did either. We both said.
So let's just set the stage. So Elon is in the court battle. He decides, fuck it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and buy it, and then I'm going to sue him afterwards. That's what he's doing. So if you don't know, Elon bought Twitter,
Yeah.
and now he has all the inside information. He has every bit of
Yeah, he knows
information he
everything,
needs.
you know.
They can't withhold anything from him. And now he's building his cases against the former board or whatever, and he's going to sue the fuck out of them. It's going to be a mess. But anyway, so he owns
gonna be a
Twitter
mess.
now, and he's had a hiccup with the blue check marks. Like, the Twitter blue thing kind of blew up. People started faking accounts because all people who hate Elon want to fake accounts and get him in trouble for buying Twitter and all this bullshit. But what he's going to do is he's going to make a different color check mark for the actual official people.
yeah.
And he's going to allow the blue check mark for I have a check mark. If you go to TMB broadcast, TMB _podcast on
Wish I would have
Twitter,
got one, man. I'm pissed that I didn't get
go
it.
follow us if you haven't on Twitter. I tweet a bunch. I'm trolling most of the time. Like 90% of the time, I'm using a troll account, and then a lot of times I'm promoting my crypto that I'm doing and my NFT stuff that I do. But I mean, it's just a mix of things,
Yeah.
But we're there. But I have a check mark because I already had Twitter Blue before Elon took over. I had Twitter Blue when Jack Dorsey put it out because I wanted my NFT to be actually my one of my
profile picture.
exactly.
Yeah.
And
PFP.
And the thing about when I got it, I was like, this is cool. I can edit my tweets. Like whenever you tweet,
I like that too.
it gives you like 30 seconds to read over what you fucking did, and you can undo it within 30 seconds. Now on Elon, when Elon took over, once you actually tweet something out, you have 30 minutes to alter it or remove it.
Damn. Yeah, that should.
Which is it's good. It's good because people say things that they shouldn't say.
You can go take
and
it
people are
back.
going to snapshot it. I mean, if you do something crazy, do something real crazy out there, people are going to screenshot that.
Yeah. Well, just
So-
you still got a time period though.
So
You know what I'm
Elon
saying?
takes over Twitter. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So Elon takes over Twitter, and half the country loses their mind.
Yeah. Well, he fired everybody, so let's not forget that. Which
Well, he fired what? How many? 3,500 people.
35. Yeah, more than half. So.
Okay, so but Meta just fired 11,000.
Yeah,
people, right?
11,500.
After Elon, so more than triple with
Yep.
Elon. But Elon's getting all the heat, right? Because Elon walked in and cleaned house, but he had to.
Oh, yeah.
He has to clean house. And also, he said, no more working from home. You have to come into the
Yeah,
office.
I know,
I'm
it's
accepting resignations if not. He walked in the first day with a sink in his hand, carrying a huge-ass heavy sink, and said, I'm walking in the Twitter
Let that
headquarters as
sink
owner.
in.
Let that sink in. I mean, he's trolling, bro. I love it. I love trolls on the internet.
Well-
good trolls. Good trolls on the internet. He's a good troll,
Yeah.
bro.
Well, if you had fuck you money, what would you do?
I'd be trolling.
You'd be walking in Twitter
Oh,
headquarters after
I'm
you
trolling
bought it
now.
with a
Can you
sink.
imagine? Can you imagine me trolling if I'm
Dude, can you
have
imagine
fuck
this
you
dude
money?
brought a kitchen sink in there? This is not bullshit, y'all. He walked in with a kitchen sink.
God, bro.
Let that sink in. Come on.
He canceled all their. They had free lunch there in their cafeteria. He canceled.
he
You gotta-
canceled it.
You got to pay for your lunch now. You have to come into work. You have to
Yeah.
come into work, bro. I swear to God, they had 7,500 people at Twitter working. You could run Twitter with two smart guys in a basement, bro.
Yeah. I mean, you really.
I mean, you don't need 7,500 people to run Twitter. You
I said
don't.
that. We talked about
You
that.
don't, bro.
I said that on the last show, dude. I said that is way too many people. way
You have
too many.
100 really good people. You could run Twitter.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, you don't need 75.
So I mean, he cut down to what 2,500 or something, or 3,500.
Yeah.
Which is still too many, which is going to continue to fire people. But you know
My
what?
favorite thing is he got rid of
Amazon's
the-
laying off people.
Yeah.
Disney Plus today announced they're laying off people.
Yeah, the tech industry's getting hit right now. It's
They're
kinda-
all laying
kinda
off people
crazy.
right now.
Yeah.
There's going to be a
I know.
lot of people looking for tech jobs. So if you're looking for a tech job, you better get one now because there's going to be a lot of people in the market.
It's gonna be flooded.
Speaking of jobs, congratulations. Angie got him a new job.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Rolling.
Yeah, dude, rolling.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, I'm
job.
happy
I'm
about
proud of my brother. Proud of my brother. He's setting
big-
himself up for the future. Good job on that.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, man. I'm happy about it. Whole life is about to change for sure. So
Yeah.
cool.
Awesome, bro.
Yeah, man. I'm happy. Very much.
So what do you think about Elon taking over Twitter, bro? What's your thoughts?
Dude, I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess if he's gonna do all the things where he's gonna sue him and all that stuff, he's just gonna get his money, as much as his money back as he can from it. I
It don't
guess.
matter. That I don't think that matters to
Yeah.
him. I think it more matters to him is
Well,
freedom
right.
of speech. He
fun-
saw people getting speech getting suppressed,
Yeah.
people's ideas getting sat on and squashed because of the political party they
Yeah.
were affiliated with. And I think he really is a free speech
Oh
pioneer
yeah, and I think
in this
I
day
think-
and age.
I think people are gonna hate him for. I think if you look at the media, you can already see the stories planted about him. I mean, they're trying to tear him down already just for buying it, and because
Yeah,
they
but
lost
Twitter's-
their echo chamber. Did you
Twitter
see that?
Twitter's has the highest. The other day they had the highest user interaction ever. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
No, I didn't see that.
More
That's
people
the crazy
tweeted
thing.
and more people tweeted and were active on Twitter than ever before of all time.
I saw
the other
something.
day.
I didn't know that. That's amazing. After
Yeah.
he bought it too.
So
That's
the,
crazy
yeah,
to
so
think
the,
about.
the usage is going up. Advertisers are leaving. They're putting their advertising on pause.
Dude, the
See what
funniest
he
thing.
does.
I swear I saw this too. The funniest thing I've seen so far is Biden. Biden tweeted out something about like jobs and stuff, and he had these numbers of certain amount of companies making a certain amount of money. He's like, since I've taken office, this blah blah blah, and then so Elon's new fact checker system.
Yeah, fact checked it.
Fact checked Biden, and because he was wrong, he was saying shit that wasn't true. It was like he was like exaggerating the numbers, and so the president got fact checked, which was hilarious. That never would have happened before. That never would have happened before. So Twitter is like an entirely different thing now. Entirely, dude, and it's all because of Elon. And I think if you know, I did see that he's like not funding Starlink in Ukraine anymore and stuff like that because he's got to get the government to pay for it. Did you see that? So he stopped giving that. But I mean, Twitter's already a whole different thing since Elon took it over. That's what I was saying. It's already a whole different thing. Biden would have never got fact checked on before Elon took over. But you know what's crazy is that our mom, she doesn't have her account back yet. I thought she
Yeah,
would
or she'll probably never get it back. That account's probably erased.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They
No,
erased.
she logged into it. She was able to actually send another request, so we'll see. She didn't get back in, though. I thought she was. Yeah.
Well, it's only a matter of time. They're still sifting through everything.
Oh, for sure, dude.
I mean, so, you know how many people try to get their account back?
Oh, I'm talking about probably
Tens
millions.
of thousands, maybe
Probably
hundreds of
millions.
thousands.
I was thinking a million, dude, at least.
Yeah.
Think about it. They swept people like, 100,000 people at a time. You think about how many people they actually did over the 10 year or 20 years it's been there. Thinking about Twitter's been around that long, it's pretty crazy. Not quite, about 15 years. Still, it's a whole different thing now that he has it. And I think that's cool. I think he can. I think if Elon does it right, it could be a good thing. But I think he will get attacked the whole time. They're gonna try to stop him, and I don't know if you can, because like they're saying I'll talk. What we end it with this, dude. Jack Dorsey. The weird thing about Jack Dorsey is who's the founder of Twitter, by the way. He helped Elon, and they're calling him the most hated person in tech right now, which is interesting. Quote, Jack is hated at Twitter, a close source tells the New York Post. They blame Jack for what happened with Elon's takeover of the company. That's what Para Agrawal said, the now former Twitter chief, and the board think he's a really bad character. So the freaking CEO, the former CEO, is saying Jack is hated at Twitter, and they blame Jack for what happened with Elon's takeover. So somehow Jack Dorsey is getting hated on by helping Elon, because he did. He actually, with the shares and all that kind of crap. So he did help Elon get it. But at the same time, he's like, you don't have anything to go up against Twitter right now. Like, nothing can compete with it. And then he's on the same end that he's helping Elon. He's launching another version of Twitter, but it's like on the blockchain. Aaron, have you seen that?
No, but they know why you got to use it.
It's called Blue Sky. So it runs on the blockchain, and it's an idea of like, imagine like NFTs and shit. He's trying to make it where it's going to connect to all the other social medias as well. And so but all your stuff is going to live on the blockchain. It can never be deleted or anything like that. And so it's going to put all social media stuff. And I don't know, he's saying it's going to change the way it works. I don't know. He's basically putting social media on the blockchain. I found that interesting that he's trying to do that, but Twitter's changed, man. It's gonna change since Elon bought it. It's already different now, and I think it's gonna look a whole. I'll tell you this: in about a year, you're not even gonna remember what Twitter used to be. It's gonna be way better, dude. He's gonna make it better.
I know he is.
I mean, there's no
He's gonna
doubt
make it
about
profitable.
Yeah, he's gonna make money off of it.
They're losing $4 million a day.
Yeah.
A day. Just put that into perspective.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So I can't.
10 days is 40 million. In 100 days is 400 million. In 1 year, that's what 1.6 billion dollars.
Yeah,
1.2, 1.4,
something like that. So
1.2 billion dollars.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
So I look forward to see how that's gonna grow in the future. I'm sure Dogecoin's gonna be involved. I'm just saying.
No, it won't. He's learned to stay away from crypto.
Yeah,
I promise you that.
For sure.
Although he still does Doge stuff. But he's just fucking whatever. He's just trolling.
Yeah, by now people know.
Yeah. All right, bro. Let's wrap it up, dude.
Yeah, that's cool. All right, man. Well, hey, we're back. So
We'll have a more in-depth discussion about Elon. I didn't really want to get into it. There's so much stuff
cool.
to talk
And
about.
then
Maybe
look for very soon Media Brothers 3.0. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some version of it. We gotta get together and figure out how it's gonna look. But look forward to that very soon.
Come to our Discord to see the pictures of Andrew, 1-year-old, sitting on my 6-year-old lap
that's a good
playing
one.
Commodore 64. It'll be on there at some point.
And we're gonna have to
Same.
make that. We're gonna brand with it too. So yeah, look for that. So that's it, man. See y'all Media
All right,
Bro,
bro.
MediaBroShow.com.